Listeners, we need to talk about episodes 6 and 7 of Monarch Season 2, Legacy of Monsters. And you are listening to The World is My Burrito. Today, I am joined by the one, the only, Zack. Zack, how you doing, buddy?
I am here, and that's about where we're going to start.
He's made it. And, yeah, I acted as quickly as possible and made that call, so I got the two-for deal this time. And we got some extra Bob on this episode. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
I'm great. You guys want to play the license plate game to make this a little less awkward?
It's like a 2-hour ride.
My goodness.
This is like a 2-hour ride, man.
It really is.
Yeah, there's a lot. You can clearly see there's a lot of license plates about in Thailand in the middle of the jungle.
What
look, a little license plate field over there.
Oh, look, I found Kansas.
Growing on trees.
Oh, look, there's Arkansas. Oh, my gosh, it's Maine in Thailand.
Well, listeners, if that doesn't make any sense to you, that means you didn't check out episode 7, which is the most recent episode. So, yeah, this is going to be all spoilery. So go watch it or don't and just listen to us talk about it. Honestly,
it might actually work out better.
It can't be spoilery because there's nothing to spoil. But anyway.
Happens. Yeah, I think that's going to be kind of the theme from here on out, because Bob, the gloves got to come off, man. There's just no more forgiving this show. We have 3 episodes to go.
I've never felt more validated in my entire life.
I do say that, yeah, the episode 6, that didn't, how do I say this? That got a verbal, oh, what the fuck out of me. Like, at the screen. And I know we're just gonna, I just want to just fucking not bury the lead. You showed us Godzilla without showing us Godzilla. Oh, don't worry, Godzilla's gonna show up in this episode. No, Godzilla technically did not. You had a quick dream sequence that showed him for about 10 seconds, which I kind of touched on. I had the wrong scene, but I said that was going to happen, and then I was still fucking wrong because it wasn't even him. It was a fucking dream sequence.
Yeah. Yep. Bob did ask about that in the Discord. It's like, does Godzilla show up? It's like, well, yeah, sure.
You said yes, and I didn't want to give too much away there, but it was you sure about that?
I said yes with an exclamation point, so he should have known something was wrong.
I said this in the Discord today too, but it was more about episode 7, but it could be applicable to this comment that we're having right now. There has been no meaningful kaiju action in any of these episodes.
No, not even with Kong at the very beginning. That was only loosely kind of, okay, he's beating the shit out of humans, but then he's not. He's going for the crustaceans that are there in Skull Island for some reason. Okay. And then you had, like, the little panther kaiju thing, and then we had, like, the little bird that we can control, and then we had the chocobos running around. That's been about it. That's been the most meaningful kaiju action other than unleashing tentacly upon the world.
Right. And it crushed the boat. But these are all such fleeting moments in these episodes. They're so insignificant. There should be a G-Day every episode. Like, where are the G-Days? And I feel like we're working towards something of that magnitude. Every time. But my God, where are the monsters? The Poochie rule applies.
It is very much applying, and we've touched on this so far this season. I still look back fondly on season 1 just as it's, you know what's great is this season making season 1 looking a lot better.
Yeah, I loved season 1 now.
Season
Guys, can we go back and re-record that episode? Can I say how awesome season 1 is? That would be great.
They are, we're we're trying to give the kids a purpose after not having them have a purpose, and then we're changing the purpose, and then we're also not explaining the purpose. At least in the case of Cate, okay, she's somehow connected to this Titan, far more than she was just sharing a brief stare with Godzilla a couple times. It's like, oh, we're actually connected to the point of when I'm in the water, I get the double ripple syndrome because reasons that apparently go back generations that we find out in episode 7, that this is a thing that's been going on for a while. And in episode 6, Cate even says when they figure out how to hear it, she's like, oh, it sounds scared and lost. The fuck do you know that?
It's sad.
There are plenty of animal noises in the animal kingdom that if you hear, you'll go, oh, wow, it's really pissed off. No, it's just trying to get laid. You have no idea or no concept of what that even sounds like. And then in the next episode, she completely walks that back. Oh, no. Sounds like it wants to go to the store and buy lottery tickets. It's like, what the fuck? We went from, oh, it's sad and lonely and scared to, nope, it's just out there talking shit.
You heard it here first, folks. Titan X wants to fuck. That's what Zack says.
What are those tentacles for? Come on.
Tentacle party.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of dumb stuff that's been said, and like, if we want to talk about
son of a bitch, he made
it. But really, how innocent it was, how innocent we were back then when that was the worst of the writing.
Yeah,
because between the two, oh man, let's see, because I'm looking at my notes now, and I normally get to watch these a second. Well, I'll watch the previous one 2 times on the same day as the current one, or a second time on the same day as the current one. That way I kind of remember everything, but I have so many confusing notes, and it's like, man. All right, so something we talked about before this episode started. We'll get into the dialogue in a second, but before this episode started, I had made the comment that this show, like, it is moving slow for us, the viewer, but in world, they're going at a breakneck speed. And all of this can be very easily explained by Dr. Suzuki talking about how time is wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey. But when I talk about this, one of the biggest glaring things is, what is it? They've got... it's at the funeral, I think. Kentaro's mom is there, and it's like, has she been caught up on everything that's happened? Because they're all talking she seems to fit in very normally for a lot of weird shit to have happened in the 5 previous episodes.
I imagine that, well, remember also this is shortly after a 2-year stint of Hiroshi and Kentaro being on the, maybe not on the island for 2 years, but for 2 years trying to get Cate back. So I'm sure Kentaro's mom was aware of what Kentaro was doing with his dad, and they somewhat kind of explained it. So I took that as, all right, she's aware of it, of what they're trying to do and why he's gone for however many months on Skull Island. But I do agree as well, for being a side character who is not involved with Monarch or the team in any capacity, yeah, we're just having general kaiju, time-traveling, interdimensional conversations with her. But Cate also had that conversation with her own mom.
Everybody knows.
I'm not saying it's great, but they've done it.
What you don't see is there's a lot of downtime, and they're texting a lot, and their moms are really in the loop. What are you doing? You gonna be home for dinner tonight? Like, it's they're always constantly connected.
Hey, remember,
signed up to Line.
When the electrical storm happens in Access Monday, it's time to come home. All right.
Yeah.
Street lights are off. Street lights are on.
Come home.
Yeah.
So at the funeral as well. Hold on, let's see. But before I jump too far ahead, Right, so it's moving at breakneck speed.
Well, at least we had
so
a few
much
different
to the
times.
dialogue.
We had a few different times, at least in 6, for
Yeah.
good or for worse. Yeah, I mean, most everything happened in 2017. Kentaro's mad at Cate and it being very emotional and upset.
So
And-
we go from everyone being together at the beginning of this episode to now everyone is split and they have entire other projects that they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think this is kind of an ongoing problem in the series where nothing is given time to breathe, and then all of a sudden just like shit is happening. How to phrase this? Because nothing's happening. They're just doing new, more grandiose things. And we're still on 6 because this is a problem in 7 too.
Yes.
But in 6, it's like, okay, Dad's dead. So anyways, Dr. Suzuki's back. So now Lee Shaw, Cate, and Lee Shaw, Cate,
Her grandma.
her grandma, right, are all with him. Shaw has his own thing that he ends up doing by the end of the episode, and then Cate and Grandma have their own thing that they're doing, and then Cora and the gang splits up
May,
again.
Cora,
May,
whatever.
May
Well,
and Kentaro.
And then potentially Kentaro in 6. Potentially, we know in 7 it is a yes, but like Kentaro potentially is now going to be splintering off at the end of 6 as well, which he not to jump
Yeah,
ahead, but then he
with
does in
the-
7, right? Everybody's just splintered off.
Was that the granddaughter of the guy in charge of Apex? That was who that was? I
Yes.
think?
Isabel?
Yeah.
I don't know, Bob. I don't know how you could forget the CEO of Apex from Godzilla vs Kong. I mean, it's just such a memorable character that you would have to know his daughter.
Is this where I
Because-
say, like, I saw that in the theater, but I don't really like Godzilla vs. Kong, so I haven't really watched it again. So, no, I don't remember Isabel.
But she's not in the movie. She's the
Yeah,
when
her-
she said the guy's name, I'm like, who the fuck is this guy?
Like I remember hearing the name and I went, I don't know what that's from. It's from the universe. I don't remember. And then I looked it up and went, okay, it's the asshole in charge of Apex. Great. Oh, good. It's not like a deep lore dive to someone that we actually care about, but all right.
Right.
Thanks.
It's not the
So-
Mothra twins.
Yeah.
No.
No, bring
I-
those in. That'd be fun.
Yeah, because they exist in world. They were kind of done dirty in King of the Monsters, but I keep having these hopes. They keep lining up good stuff. In 7, bring up the Mothra twins again, because I had a hope in 7 that things were gonna get
I'll bring them up all
maybe
the time.
cooler.
Corey. It's fine.
all the time, please.
Yeah.
So yeah, 6. Just nothing really happens.
There's a lot of planning.
Everyone's
and some
moving
backstory.
so fast.
It was absolutely the reset, right? We had the huge, I should, using the word huge lightly, we had the huge build up to the death of Hiroshi at the end of 5, right? Then we have the funeral at the beginning of 6, so it's, spoiler alert, everybody. So it's really the reset at that point to figure out, well, now we need to figure out what these people are doing. They had this big like climax, this big plot point that just happened, and he's dead, and that now triggers, that's the catalyst apparently that's going to trigger all this splintering and this dissension among the ranks amongst these groups, and now everybody's got their own agendas and their own priorities that they're starting to understand and starting to figure out, and everybody's just splintering off in 6, and that's the whole point of 6. There's nothing really happening except people just deciding to go do something. That's how I
And-
would write 6.
Yeah, that because that is sort of what happens. Is like they're making stuff up for people to leave. Now everyone already, this whole season has been everyone splintering off. Everyone has left, and most of them multiple times, because Cate leaves almost immediately, and then May leaves right after, and then Cate returns, and Kentaro's like bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
So everyone's this
Shaw
episode is-
Shaw starts to splinter off because now he's mad that Hiroshi's dead. So now he's mad at Titan X, and then he's becoming no, it's us versus them, and we gotta make them fight. And so he's gonna use the technology of attracting a Titan, but we gotta try and attract Godzilla to make make him fight Titan X, and then we get a couple, not necessarily pointless, but kind of not needed backstory. We got to see Kong again because Kentaro was shown on Skull Island sneaking out, drawing Kong. With all the other dangerous shit all over the island, he's just out wandering around. That's cool. That's fine. And then shares a beer with his dad, where his dad lets him know, oh, yeah, I've been in Axis Mundi. It was a thing. I went from here to there and a little bit of everywhere. And then we got
that you forgot though he was drawing Kong like one of his French girls.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that we
fogged up
start
that
the
car
episode
really bad.
Yeah,
Sure did.
That episode starts and it says 2 weeks earlier, and my first note is 2 weeks earlier from what? Like, are you fucking?
Today.
Did this have time to happen?
That's what they're saying.
2 weeks ago, it seems unreal because the way that he and Kentaro and Hiroshi are talking to each other is like, this is all fake. None of this feels. That felt like the dream sequence.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was short. That was only like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was like none of them are acting like they've been acting throughout this entire show because Hiroshi's very standoffish. You can't hold the man down. Anyways, I want to ask because it's the end of 6 and a big point of 7. But Zach, you mentioned how Lee Shaw goes off. He's getting mad now, and he wants to use Dr. Suzuki's device to draw Godzilla out to fight Titan X. What was one of the main points that Shaw had in season 1?
Oh boy, I don't know.
He did not want to work with Dr. Serizawa because of Dr. Serizawa's let them fight mentality. So what does Lee Shaw do?
He's going to let them fight.
Let them fight
because of anger. And then we have the backstory. They try to explain that with his backstory, where he pulls a Cate and runs away from Keiko and Randa in 1958. Because Monarch they've got additional funding because the pictures we see, Keiko and Shaw saved of Titan X. So, oh my God, these things are real. Here's all the money and your assistance. And Shaw's like, fuck it, I'm transferring. And then we meet Shaw's dad, who's a douche canoe, who's just doing whatever he wants. And then Shaw he runs away, and just like Cate, he's like, no, I'm not happy here. Yeah, and then he goes back. So it was kind of, they only did that to emphasize that his dad was a dick, and now Shaw has had an arc to become his dad, even though that didn't happen at all in season 1. It's because Kate's dad died. That's what turned him into Shaw's own dad to be a dick. Okay. Pretty weak writing.
At least we got a character arc.
Yeah, character motivations and character arcs. May is probably the best example, I would say, but the character motivations, they are so in flux from one episode to the next. And I'm not sure if either of you watch a lot of like Ryan Murphy type shows, but like it's a real problem in his types of shows too, where it's like they have clearly an objective of what they want to do in an episode or some scene or something that they want to be able to accomplish as part of the plot. And they just shift people's motives to be able to serve what they want to do versus actually taking the time to do the work to develop a character or develop a story. They just want to say, oh, now we need to do this, or now we need to go there. Oh, we'll just throw away their motivations because we'll just put May over here because now May's going to help Apex, but okay, now May's over here helping Monarch, or we don't really know what May's doing. Like, May is a wildly, like, if I was that actress, I'd be like, what the fuck is this character? Like, for somebody who's as brilliant as she is, she can't seem to figure out really what she wants to do or what her motivations are in life. And it's just really frustrating because it's just like, I could forgive some of this kind of fluctuation of people's motivations or what they're doing. I could forgive some of that if it was like really going into like maybe a campy type area of like really making this show as ridiculous, but they're so earnest and it's so serious, this show, that it's just like, it then makes no sense that these characters just don't stay on a track of their motivation. It's so frustrating. Sorry, I had to rant there for a second because we were talking
No,
about
that
character
it's
motivations.
very valid because we've already seen on like a larger scale May flip flop, or maybe a more separated from when it's happening. And it's like now that we're getting close to the end of the season, they're having to sort of rush all of these other ideas in.
Yes.
So characters, especially May, are just jumping around a lot, and even it's a little bit jumping forward, but there's the kind of dramatic scene in 7 where Tim tells her that what's her face, I don't remember, but her boss approached other companies about May's tech without mentioning May's name.
Holland?
And May's like, she wouldn't do that. And it's like, the woman that you've betrayed twice, you're surprised is betraying you, the woman who very overtly does not care about what's happening at all.
These are the dumbest smart people
shocked.
I've ever
I know.
seen. The dumbest smart people I've ever seen.
Oh, man.
May has flipped flopped and then she flipped again, like over the like within 2.5 episodes, maybe 3.
Yeah.
She's gone back and forth about 3 times now.
Because she went to Apex to break back in, and then she appreciated what they were doing on some level, and then she was surprised that everything went to shit because they didn't listen to her, and then she was surprised that they didn't like her to begin with, even though it was pretty obvious they never liked her. It's
don't
like
like her.
hurting my head at this point when watching this.
They are adrift with that character for sure, and many of the others. It's too many characters. I've said that consistently. I love properties with lots of characters. I say that on my podcast all the time. Great pop culture debate, and I love characters, but like I'm saying there's too many characters in this, and that's strange for me to say something like that because they can't handle all these characters and all the different places that they're at. Tell less stories. Again, we're splintered in 6 different directions now. I said this to you guys in the Discord also, because that's what we were all clamoring for, was for more stories.
Yes.
Give us another story. Let's put Kentaro over here doing something completely different.
Yeah, so we've got, as we go into 7, so we've got, how many different groups? We've got Cate and Keiko that are, I think Bob said they're braiding hair and
Yes.
and,
They're doing
bonding.
makeup, braiding hair.
You've got Shaw and Suzuki. They're kind of opposite of each other on the spectrum, where Cate and Keiko are trying to contact and figure out what's going on with Titan X, and Shaw and Suzuki are like, we're going to bring in another fucking monster, because that's genius. Then you've got Kentaro, who was trying to do something with May, but then she rebuffed him, so then he takes off with Apex owner's granddaughter, and then he's not sure if he's going to stick with her, but then May. And then we've got, then we got Tim, who then grabs May back again. So now she's kind of with Monarch, but yet also against Monarch.
So is that 4?
That's 4 at the moment that are all kind of doing their own different thing.
Yeah.
Only 2 of them are directly like kind of going the same direction, just doing different approaches.
Well, Titan X too. That's 5. Titan X has its own agenda
It's
too,
out there.
right?
Just tentacling
Maybe even
around.
Godzilla, maybe Kong. Who knows?
I mean,
Who knows?
Kong's doing his thing on Skull Island. He's just, Konging around. So actually, here's something. I saw this come up. Why do you think Godzilla has not shown up yet? Because we know by the trailers that he's going to fight Titan X and Kong's going to fight Titan X. They also built it up that Titan X was massive. It's not that big compared to Godzilla.
It's still not that big.
It's not. So why do you think Godzilla hasn't shown up yet? Other
Why do you
than
keep
we got to
saying
save
he
the
hasn't,
money.
Zach? He did in episode 5. Why do you keep saying he
did.
didn't?
He did in something
6.
Oh,
mind.
6. Whatever episode that was.
No, and that brings up
Budget.
another thing. And this is
Budget, yes.
because they're trying to get people to continue watching this. So we have the kind of interesting dream sequence. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens in both 6 and 7 that doesn't quite happen in other episodes. They feel like they're almost trying to be more artsy. The weird situation of Kentaro drawing Kong, that's very goofy, but it's like this is like it's trying to be elevated in some way. And then he walks back through the Jurassic Park fence. And then the dream sequence, but then there's also the hallucination sequences in 7.
Yes.
And
That's true. I forgot about that.
Haven't checked to confirm, but it's generally 2 episodes per person, which means that 6 would be one director and 7 would be another. So it's like they're trying to be artistic about this, or insert art in here somewhere.
How about insert Godzilla? Let's do that. Let's insert Godzilla walking around Tokyo smashing things, and then Violante shows up and does something.
And they look at each other angry for no reason. I think budget obviously, but I think the real reason is that they're going to go with kind of more like the Godzilla legendary films. If it's a Godzilla film as opposed to a Kong film, Godzilla is taking on the mantle of, just keeping the balance. And Titan X is on a 15-year cycle where it, comes back and then go, to the Earth and then goes back to Axis Mundi. So it's been around, whether, Godzilla's awake or dormant, and Godzilla doesn't give a shit because it's not actually a threat. It's just there doing its thing. And I think Shaw and whatever other forces are going to coax the two to fight for not the right reason, for no reason other than, we need monsters fighting. So
the more known of 2 evils, because they don't know. I kind of like that Titan X isn't fucking with anyone. They keep fucking with it. Yeah. And they're like, we need Godzilla to take care of this problem.
Yeah.
Like, what problem? He's
they're
literally
fucking with
not
it,
bothering
which is why people are dying because of Titan X, is because they're fucking with it. It's a fuck around and find out situation, right?
Yeah,
we
don't
met
know
it as San Soledad, and it fucked everything up. Why would it do that?
We woke it up early for some reason, unlike 5 minutes earlier, and then it went to the ocean because aquatic. Didn't want to fuck with Kong because you're not supposed to be here. So whatever, it is. I think it's doing its own thing, and it's going to end up fighting. It's either going to end with it fighting Godzilla, and then everyone's going to find out, be like, oh, gee, it wasn't really that bad. We got to get back to Axis Mundi. It's an endangered species. Or it's going to get evaporated by atomic ray and then float up into space and come back in the next movie in another form.
Space Godzilla.
It's not Violante 2.
Electric Tentacleante.
Yeah, Tentacle Boogaloo.
Yes.
So yeah, that
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Tentacle Boogaloo. There we go. This episode ends like the whole plot of the show so far has don't go opening random rifts. So of course episode 6 ends with Lee being like, yeah, sure, let's open a random rift. Lee's whole character,
because they want to test it.
His whole character in the first season is, I hate Dr. Serizawa's approach to doing things. So now we're mostly through, and he's become Dr. Serizawa. I would respect that if someone mentions Serizawa, but they're like, it's like they forgot that about his character.
And when he opens the riff, and then we hear it's himself in Axis Mundi, and he turns to Suzuki, Yamaha, whatever. I first thought, this is neat. He's the guy that he was talking to in the past, and he never knew that. Oh, it's kind of cool. And now he's got to fake his way through it of like, oh, shit, what did I say back then? How did I guide myself? Oh, wait, next episode, fuck that. Back to the Future rules. We're going to fuck with everything.
My final note was I thought it would be Billy, but we need more Shaw, really. We just don't have enough Lee Shaw in this show. I was kind of hoping that he would chat with Billy while Billy is like off doing his adventures or something and looking for this Titan, and maybe there was some kind of vortex where like Billy is standing in roughly the same spot, doing something. It's like, how cool would that have been for them to have a
Stranger Things.
I mean, it would have
standing in
been
the same
cool.
It
But
would have been.
how does Godzilla factor into being in that scene? Because again, I'm watching this monster movie show and there's no monsters. It's just like, oh god, they just want to be lost. I said also in the Discord, they're just trying to create this whatever, this wild artsy fartsy, as you put it, right? It just everything they do is just not focused on the fact that you're supposed to be delivering me a monster show. Maybe that's a me problem, right? Maybe I shouldn't have tuned in expecting a monster show.
I mean, it's like Monarch is in the title, Legacy of Monsters, not.
Now you're giving me timey wine, like, oh,
Timey, yeah.
And and maybe I missed. Maybe there was some exposition, but with the tech from Suzuki, they figured out that he could attract a Titan because they used it twice in season 1, but they just couldn't control which one, and that's why we got the Ion Dragon initially that brought the crew down there. But then at the end of season 1, Godzilla showed up, and we didn't know that we were summoning Godzilla. We were just, we need something to open the rift, and then Godzilla showed up. So maybe Suzuki figured out that there's been enough Godzilla sightings that we can now attract him with with the idea of what he had at whatever island that Shaw and Keiko were at where Godzilla showed up. But that was more of atomic radiation or something. Wasn't that what attracted him in season 1?
I don't remember.
It was a big floaty ball, and he wanted to play with it.
Oh, because there was this. Well, yeah, I guess there was, but I think that was also sound because he was the guy working on sound.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he figured it out, and it's attuned to Godzilla's vibrations. I don't fucking know, but they were testing it to see if maybe Godzilla will show up. That's great. What could go wrong? And then we find out,
everything.
There's this whole
but only
thing.
the viewers.
Yeah. So and then the plot becomes, according to some people, we're just gonna change the entire space-time continuum. We're just gonna get rid of G-Day because you can do that. Allegedly, somehow, Apex, granddaughter of Fame and Fortune, knows. We don't know how.
That's the Kentaro. For those listeners out there, that's the Kentaro storyline that unfolds in episode 7.
In 5 minutes, Kentaro goes to Thailand.
And there
looks around and then goes, "Fuck this! I want to play the license plate game," and leaves.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's super awkward other ways, so let's play.
I'm trying to find a particular line from or a quote from Kentaro from 7. So anyways, we move into 7. Shaw's talking to Shaw because we absolutely needed this. I don't,
for reasons.
Yeah, I don't care that Axis Mundi, like what we know about it, has been thrown off. Because 1, they don't truly understand it. 2, that's the least of the issues right now. A full day there is basically a full year here, and yet somehow Shaw can talk in real time.
That's right.
Just like we are right now. They're doing their own podcast using
Riffs
Riverside.
Are weird, man. Riffs
Did you guys not know that I'm in Axis Mundi right now? I'm
right
there.
now.
The lighting is extravagant, Bob.
It's great. Yeah, and it's weird because this is the one where where Shaw sees himself dead, only he's not dead. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with him seeing stuff as he's going crazy.
I think he's also low on food and...
Yeah, he's out of food by the
6th day?
After we see him bury
5th
friends.
Day, 6th day. Yeah.
Yeah, he's out of food.
Start eating your friends. They did that in the Alive movie.
I did not care for any of... So we will draw back to characters need to be what they are in that moment. Kurt Russell, I think he's a great actor. This is terrible direction because in one scene he'll be like screaming at something or be like sad because, you know, he's connecting to himself. And then in another scene, it seems like the previous scene did not exist. Where he'll be upset about something and then he's totally chill, or he'll be overly emotional and then totally chill. And it's not a crescendo or anything. It's just, we're there. It's what we needed for this to make the scene happen.
Correct.
I think that's kind of what happens when you are doing just all these different shots out of order and nobody's paying attention to what the fuck is happening, because they're just going, okay, Shaw, this is your motivation and you're feeling this, and then a week will go by and then they'll do another scene that happens right next to it, but it's been a week and they just go, all right, now you're doing this. He needs I think directing and editing, it really is kind of failing with that story structure.
I have to wonder, like, are they getting scripts for these episodes? Or are they just getting sides, like, the night before they have to record some of the stuff, and they're not actually, the actors are not actually getting a script or anything along those lines of them understanding what's actually happening in the grand scheme? Like, they probably have no fucking clue what they're doing, why they're doing it, or anything. They're probably just getting scenes that they're just running off the printer last minute to get, like, it just doesn't make any sense to me, to exactly what you're saying, Zach. Like, it's like, it's as if we recorded one thing on one day and then we recorded another thing on the next day, but oops, we forgot that those two things go next to each other in the episode, and now it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's what it comes across to me, is that they record shit out of order, or they're not helping the actors understand that, hey, you know that scene where you were really upset from losing your friend, and you're right after that, so put yourself right there again and then continue, you know, gradually where you would naturally go. Oh, okay, thanks, that helps. No, just be angry and swear. All right.
So yeah, conceptually it's cool that Shaw would be talking to himself and guiding himself. The execution is not good. I hated every scene of this. I really did. I hated the end result of this, where they're like, we're gonna put this on. Yeah, because this is confusing, because I don't know what rules we're going by, but it sounds like there's now supposed to be two. The Titan in the current timeline can't exist anymore. Because they
what
showed.
Do you mean?
Yeah, they showed that as soon as he put the marker on the Titan popped up, which means that it goes from the past into the future. But then the Titan wakes up many years before it's supposed to, or at least in Axis Mundi timeline, many days. But we're still talking a couple of months worth of days.
Well, we saw the tentacle pop out. Did we actually see the full thing erupt like it did with Shaw?
The whole wall fell down. Like, I guess we didn't see the full Titan, but it's like, if he had broken the little tiny bit and tagged it and left, cool. But because, it did leave. Yeah, I want to say it left.
It did?
I'd have to, I guess, check it out.
I just watched it this
entire
afternoon and
wall fell down.
Yeah.
Because he was like running from the green screen, and it's like, no, you would be dead, because he got like 15 feet. And I mean, this thing is multiple stories tall. If that much rock is falling down, it's going to go out. And he was totally fine.
See, so the whole wall didn't fall. There you go. You answered it yourself.
I know. I did it to myself.
I mean, I did think this whole, I understand Shaw's like, you're there, we got to get a tracker on it. But also, Shaw, if something happens to you, like, you're now changing your timeline. What happens when he gets eaten by that bug that you didn't encounter? You cease to exist. Is it instantaneous, or is it the slowly fade away, as time folds upon itself and undoes everything going backwards? What happens here? Because as it was going, I was trying to go back and forth. Does he know this is happening, or is he affecting the timeline? Okay, no, he's affecting the timeline. And then he had to struggle with, he magically finds Keiko and wants to go get her, and then current Shaw has to argue with past Shaw about, don't do that, because bad things, maybe. Don't think with your dick. Think about the greater good, the lives of the many. The Spock thing, but you can't because you don't fucking know what that is yet.
Pivot.
Mm-hmm.
How also he gets on the phone. I'm going to call it the phone. He gets on the phone with his old self in Access Monday. He gets on the horn, rotary. It takes him a while to dial, but so he's talking to him. He knows he knows he's himself, and he knows who he's talking to. Who he's talking to doesn't necessarily know yet who he's talking to, but once they do make that connection, how does modern day Shaw? How does his brain not just explode with that whole
he would have to be remembering what he already said as he's saying it. It's re-imprinting.
And then he would remember that, I was on the phone and then I found out I was talking to my it's how does sorry, I'm giving myself a headache thinking about it.
So that goes with the, we don't understand time. I kind of would go with, all right, maybe it will take time to catch up, but later, once the tracker is implanted into Titan X in Access Monday in the past, we then jump to 18, Monarch 18, the boat, and bam, there's the tracker from 1950, 60, whatever it was. So we don't know how much time passed there, but it seemed pretty instantaneous that we shoved a tracker in Titan X, and then it magically appeared in the future. Therefore, at that moment, that's how it was edited
weeks
together,
or months or years ago.
Correct. But we also wouldn't know about it until
because we can't go back to know. We'd have to go back and rewatch those episodes now to see if they edited those previous episode.
A real George Lucas.
And honestly,
it's always been there, guys.
Doing
it's
that.
always been there.
Ron always shot first.
That's a really good point, because in the first few episodes the episode where the Titan was eating the boats and all of those different things, why wasn't there a tracker on it then that we knew about? Or
it would have had some better
Shaw
writing.
should have known there was a tracker on it.
He should have,
the whole time.
Except that he changed the timeline. Now, what would have been fun is if they found a way that they had that it had been there, somehow it was hidden, and then they didn't find it until something urged them to do it. But then that would be the preconceived, this is already predetermined and it's already there, and therefore he's not actually changing time. We're still going with, he did something, he changed it, and it is a linear line, not a loop.
It only
if it was already
changed
there,
just
it
enough for it to matter in this show.
Just so we can we are flying fast and loose.
It's just like the characters'
There's no
emotions.
rules. There's no rules.
Yeah,
it's whatever rules. Again, just like people's motivations, it's whatever rules serves what they want to happen in that scene that they think is
that
cool.
Moment.
To forward
but I guess with all of this
story.
time altering and all of these different things, I guess the important question is, knowing that they made all those he's making changes to time, did Kentaro and Isabel still play license plate game after they made all of those changes?
It's the important question. When they
altered
the timeline,
and who
we'll have to wait till next week to find out.
Wait till episode 8, which since you
I gotta know.
Since we jumped to them, so that's the other person who is hinting that would apparently know that time, you can alter time. So Shaw is figuring that out now with Suzuki, but what's her face McGee of Apex Grandbabies is now, hey, we could undo everything. We could not have a G-Day. We could eradicate and change all this stuff. Okay. So that's their approach now, or at least her approach. Try to go use Access Monday to go back in time somehow and alter the past so we don't have a G-Day. We know we can jump far into the future very quickly. How are they gonna go backwards in time? That no one has addressed yet.
Good
We
question.
may never know.
Well, we can talk backwards through time, clearly.
Yes.
Yes.
And not impact everything.
That's not traveling back in time, though. That's
Yeah.
just communication across timelines or dimensions.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll just have to see how that works itself. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
It has to matter. All of this is going to matter by the end of the season. We have Chekhov's 7 episodes of random ass content. It's all gonna make sense. They're really gonna bring the room together at the very end.
Not all of it.
Yeah.
Not all of it.
That stolen
so-
carpet really tied the room together.
It really,
Hopefully they
yeah.
get it.
So, yeah, Shaw talks to himself, and then we have this whole side thing of Cate and her grandmother. I don't know why I blank every single time I get on the
Keiko.
show. Keiko. There's not enough characters to forget all their names. I remember Isabella's name because she's very important. She's
Well,
very
you know her
important
from
for the
the
plot.
history of the franchise.
The history,
so,
yes. I know her dad. He's from Apex.
You know
So
him.
Cate and Keiko, they started their whole thing, and they find out that Cate is part kaiju in episode 6. And so episode 7, what I was really hoping was going to happen was that she would be part of this lineage of crazy old ladies that could hear the kaiju.
Yes,
That,
the
like,
demons of the
Keiko-
ocean.
Yeah, Keiko would have this realization that it's like, oh, well, our family's actually from this area or something like that.
I expected that, and nothing.
Yeah,
was said.
we're all waiting for it while she's standing there with no lines to deliver at all. It's like, this is your moment. Now's the time where you say, oh, no, I actually, like, these crazy old ladies that live on yada, yada, yada. Oh, shit, that's actually where my family's from.
Nope.
And then
Also-
it just... Go ahead.
What happened to Keiko? Sensing and feeling this, it just went away. We used it in the first couple
That's true.
episodes, and
Did
now
she
Kate's the only one.
notice it in the first couple?
She had,
Or was
yes,
it just-
Keiko was feeling.
Yeah, and Shaw was
they-
not.
when they were on the
Yeah, because they
islands.
went back in the past.
in the
It
past.
was in the it was in the past scenes. It was the
Yes.
past scenes,
Yes.
not the current scenes.
Yeah, not the
Yeah.
current or the current past.
That's why
but
I'm
the past
wondering
scenes.
why. What happened? She felt that. Can you only have one alive at the time?
It's passed down through
script writers
generations.
forgot.
All right. So it just left her lineage because, and then continued to Cate.
Yeah. This is the Mothra comparison that I wanted.
Yeah.
Was it's like, oh, this is a family heritage thing. We all. I mean, honestly, it'd be kind of a dumb but interesting enough callback to Godzilla 2014, where like he thought his dad was crazy, but his dad was the only person who was like contacting kaiju and stuff. It's like, yeah, it'd be like, oh no, Keiko would be like, yeah, I thought my family was fucking crazy. Because she's not that removed from her family even. She was just hanging out with her family like 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. Right? Because
She was at her mom's house.
Yeah. Or 2 months ago, because I think she said the last time that she spoke with Billy was 2 months ago. So it would have been around that time, with the combination of Axis Mundi and then her time out. So it's like, yeah, you were hanging out with your family. That would have been great to be like, yeah, mom always said something about this stuff, and I just thought she was kind of kooky. And it would make sense that she would be the generation to not realize that she was hearing kaiju, just sort of suppressing that because she's not very old, all things considered. Be like, yeah, mom didn't really talk about it much. Our grandmother was fucking crazy. Yeah, that would be like the perfect thing.
Every 15 years, they would hear a tentacly demon
even
with
that,
two
yeah.
eyes.
Family goes fucking crazy every 15 years. Granny
Every
gets
15 years.
admitted to the hospital.
Granny does a swan dive down this well, which I love. I love the obligatory 4 pieces of wood, not attached to anything. Just
It's like they're just
4,
laying there. They
3
didn't blow off at any point.
No,
They didn't
3
fall
just
down
sitting
or
there
rot.
and 1 laying across, and it's like, good enough. It's under the pagoda. We're
Convincing.
fine. And no one's gonna like rappel down here with a rope, which Chekhov's rope breaks again. You can't fucking trust a rope in this episode.
Why not have a callback to Keiko's fall from the first season?
Exactly. I made
And
the same note. This is too literal.
Let's prelude that with an actual re-showing of what happened in season 1.
Let's do
when
a
she said,
flashback in
that's
case you
exactly
forgot."
what I said. And then they show her saying the thing that she exactly said, and then show her falling, and then we do it again.
Biggest regret of her life,
Exactly.
which is only about 40 days old because she's
It's
only
not that. Yeah,
I know, yeah. Biggest regret 2 months ago.
It was like last week for her that she fell in. Like it's literally like last week. And I don't know, was it just me or it felt so abrupt and rushed that Cate comes back up to her. Oh yeah, there was a tunnel. I got out and here I am. Like,
Yes.
like what?
Well,
what was the
my
entire
favorite
fucking
part?
point of it?
Yeah, my favorite part is that first I don't know what was going on. I don't know what the direction was, but Cate says she's going to wander around, and then they start doing these really tight shots on the back of Keiko's head as she's overlooking a receded ocean line beach.
Yep.
And I thought they were going to like pan or like lift the camera, tilt it, and then maybe show Cate just sort of manifest onto the banks or something. But then she just comes from another side, and they keep doing these really tight shots on Keiko and Kate's faces, and it's not a dramatic sequence at all. Like, I thought I'd lost you, and it's like 5 minutes ago.
Corey,
fell
the
down
show
a
that you're
well.
writing in your head is so much better than this shit we're
Yeah.
watching.
I mean, she survived a however many foot fall down to
Totally
a
fine.
nearly somehow Cate survived.
Her legs are the kaiju, so
Yep, and landed in some water and muck. Found her way out completely dry. So the wind whipping through those caves is incredible. Just dried her
Incredible.
clothes out. Her hair's still perfect. Again, they went to go do this because they're trying to find Titan X, and then after all this, she hears it better in the well because reasons, and then determines, oh, it's not scared or lost. It's just needs help or communicate. It's just making noises. We don't fucking know. It's out there spray painting shit.
it's actually podcasting.
It's
It's talking to itself in the past, guiding itself to get the fuck out of that area so it doesn't have to deal with this shit. Like, it actually kind of sucks up here. Stay where you
These
are.
people are fucking crazy. Can I go home? Like, what am I
I
doing
just
here?
wanted to take a nap. Everyone expected me to do this 15
I mean, when I get woken
forever.
up early, I'm grumpy too.
Exactly. I think it just needs our help is the line that Cate says. That's in my list of lines that were just too bad.
That can go up there with "son of a bitch made it." Like, that goes right up there. It just needs our help. Let's
It
play
just needs our
license plate
help.
games.
See,
son
it's
of
just-
a bitch, he made it.
we're gonna start a rescue preserve for Titans. That's what we're gonna do. I mean, it's already wounded. It lost a tentacle.
expense spared. We spare no expense.
We
It's
spare no
disabled.
expense. It is
disabled.
disabled.
It's
Let's
differently
bring it-
abled.
Exactly. Let's bring it to a rehabilitation center. Be fine.
A place that specializes in kaiju prosthetics.
Yeah, exactly. Giant
So,
tentacles.
about to
Bad
say, we're
dragon,
We're about to say there's a company that is
There is a
that
company.
that excels at giant tentacles, giant rubber tentacles.
There's
Latex.
got to be a South Park episode about this somewhere.
Yeah, with Mecha Streisand.
Yes.
That's a throwback.
So yeah, I was kind of hoping with again, we got more Shaw, and I didn't want more Shaw. I was hoping somehow we would learn why Titan X is even there in this episode because he goes back in time. Of course, we don't. And then, guys, it's everything that we wanted. The big reveal at the end of this episode. The president, I think, of Monarch, the company, not Monarch the people. We were all just waiting to see that guy in the flesh and not on a TV screen anymore.
Yeah, he's now on the boat overseeing everything. And
see
then,
that? There he is. There's your Titan.
Oh, hold
He's
on.
looking around. Do you see
There
it?
it is.
See, I told you I knew a tracker would appear on this Titan, and I knew that we'd be able to find it, and here we are.
From the 60s. Magic.
May, give me a hug.
Oh man, so there, the dialogue was certainly, I think, one of the worst parts. That's how the episode ends. That is not a reveal. That is terrible. If anyone thinks we give a shit about
that's
that
not
guy,
a reveal.
yeah.
It doesn't hook me
But
to be
they
like,
do
okay,
it.
yep,
Okay.
there they are. Cool.
But it's
Now
how they
what?
do it. If they had done this in any other way, I wouldn't be mad. But it's the fact that Tim steps aside like Captain fucking America is standing behind him, and it's just this guy that we don't care about. It's because when I saw him, I'm like, who is that? Oh yeah, that's the guy that we just seen on the screen in one
That's
episode.
the asshole who yells
Yeah.
at Tim to listen to Apex and then yells at Tim some more for listening to Apex.
Yep.
Yep. And there's still
Too
a
many
third
people.
player out there, that we don't know about. So we have Isabella and then whoever this guy was now added.
Well,
They are
do you
definitive
remember back
characters.
in episode 1? I don't remember her name, but they did the purge in episode 1 of getting rid of some folks by having the kaiju attack, and the woman got totally
yeah.
whipped right off the beach.
Yeah.
I can't remember what her
The
name was.
deputy
Just
director.
to be replaced by this guy.
I know, her
I'm like,
return.
great, thin it out.
Yeah.
Let's get less characters. Nope, we'll just bring more in.
I would have liked her character to return more. I'm assuming, and I don't know for sure, but with the way that it happened, how unceremonious it was, I'm assuming she had other responsibilities, other possibly better series to star in. I really wish that she would have come back because she's a better opposite to Tim. I enjoyed
Correct.
their role more, but now Tim has kind of become her.
Correct.
But only not because they bring this other guy back because the other guy is more her than Tim is.
Yeah.
So it's, two
Her
and a
and
half
Tim
women.
being at odds was better. I'm not going to say it was good television. Was better television than what we're
More
getting right now.
believable.
That was a good dynamic for them. She was,
And it,
she was
I
crazy.
think it would have been
and
better
he was
for
just
this
like,
season.
hold the phone.
yeah. Yeah, so the dumb, I did find the super dumb quote because it's when Kentaro is packing to go to Thailand and May drops by to see him.
Awful scene, by
And-
the way. Awful.
Oh,
What
that
is this
was-
scene?
it is-
What are we doing? Why is this happening?
Everything about it is terrible. But his line, she says, oh, where are you going? Going to Thailand, whatever. So his line delivery, when she prods him further about what he's doing without telling her, is, why does everyone need to know my business? I met someone and I'm taking a trip. Do I need your permission? I'm just tired of everyone telling me what to do. What's right? What's wrong? What my obligations are to my family, to Monarch, to saving the world. It's my life.
When did any of that happen to him?
I don't know. I really
That
don't
is
know when
that is
any
his
of it happened.
final delivery in the apartment to Cora, May, and then she leaves and gets picked up by
In a
Tim
huff.
again in a huff. But it's like this doesn't even feel like this character. But we also get the weirdness because in 6 is the first time that he blames Cate for Titan X's release. And again, manufactured. It doesn't feel real because he's not really been mad this whole time. And then his dad's dead, and we don't get to see any of the drama unfold. So everything seems fine. And then there's this weird snap, and it's like, this wasn't an issue until now. And then he has that dramatic line delivery in this episode, and it's like, who even is this guy now? Like,
I've met someone and I'm going on a trip. Like, what is is this like a
Thailand.
romantic honeymoon? Like, what kind of trip is this? He's like,
I can
like-
get the wanting to avoid telling, May, but it's the way that if it had stopped there, I'd be fine. It's the fact that he has that entire
I've met someone.
monologue.
I'm gonna bone. Why can't I bone? Like that's what it sounds
I just want to be like
but-
Titan X. Fuck.
I mean, in a more realistic, world approach or better written shows or movies, when someone proceeds to prod and look for more information, typically the response is something along the line of, "None ya fucking business." And they could have had him say that probably a bit more polite to May because of their history, but it would have been more believable of, look, I'm leaving. I don't have to tell you anything. You made it clear that we're not a thing. I would have believed that more, because then, okay, he's going off of her rebuffing him and him feeling a little, shut down. So, yeah, he's going to have a little bit of attitude with her. Sure. But the additional 5 sentences is
This
just
goes back
dumb.
to what
It's too
we've been
much.
saying for most of our conversation here, is that that's them now telegraphing to us, okay, here are all of Kentaro's, this is why Kentaro's doing what he's doing, here are all of his
Yeah.
motivations. We're going
This
to
is
cram
why
it
you
into
should
this
care.
2 seconds of exposition, which is
Yeah.
the sole purpose of that scene. It's just like,
That was
why
it.
is Kentaro doing what he's doing? We need to create some sort of motivational scene to explain to the viewer why he's doing what he's doing. And it was completely forced. It was completely shoehorned in. And it doesn't, again, they're not doing the work to build the characters because there's too many characters in this show.
It could have even been a, because Isabella, that's the one, she put her number in his phone.
Yes.
He could have shot her a text, that he's now contemplating. He's like, I don't, what do I do? It's like, what do you have in mind? What do you mean? She's and then she responds with, come to Thailand, I'll show you, or something with a little bit more exposition, and then see him like look back and forth, go, fuck it, and then just take off. Don't even need May in that fucking scene. Could have handled it with a phone call or a text.
Yeah.
Like all these fucking shows. Why are you meeting face to face? This could have been an email.
I don't like that, how that worked out. I don't like that Kentaro is now he's bonding with someone over abandonment issues, because they're
Together.
they're overemphasizing the terrible family, because we've had cheating was a through line that has kind of been dropped, or having multiple lovers, however you want to view it. Abandonment has been a thing. I think that's really kind of it. The cheating thing was so big for so many episodes. So Cate,
It's the basis
Everyone.
of
We've
season
already gone
one
over
because
that.
because of Cate
everyone
and
has
Kentaro.
cheated or assisted someone else in the cheating so far.
held the camera. Yeah. you know.
Everyone has abandonment issues because May drops off from people in season 1 and kind of season 2. Kentaro kind of drops off from a lot of responsibilities in season 1. Cate drops off from relationships. Everyone has all these weird abandonment issues, and then now there's this weird focal point on Kentaro in this episode, and it's like, I don't like that we have to focus on. We're strictly focusing on their drama. We're not focusing on them anymore. Like, they don't exist beyond their drama.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of, so, again, back to what I was saying earlier, where like the show is going slow, nothing happens in this episode, and yet now Kentaro's in Thailand and leaving. He is not only in Thailand, but leaving Thailand. He just got there.
Because of finding out more about her in Apex, and then because she says something about Access Monday, and that turns him away. I came all this way, and then you said 4 minutes of information, and fuck it, I don't want to be a part of this. Okay, but
Yeah.
then she stops the car after playing license, roulette, license plate roulette, and but what if we got rid of G-Day? Okay, tell me more, I guess. And that's where we leave it.
So, Kentaro and May had that conversation. Kentaro leaves, goes to Phuket. Phuket, is that how you pronounce that? Thailand.
Phuket,
Goes fuck it. Goes to Thailand. They go
Says
to her
fuck it,
house.
goes to
They
fuck
hang
it.
out. They swim. They probably have drinks. Who knows? They're at
Who
her
knows?
house.
They schmooze.
Then they're leaving Thailand.
Oh, bugly.
All of that happened for Kentaro in the 1 day time span that Shaw spent with Shaw having that phone conversation.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
wasn't even a day.
Right. Maybe a couple hours.
Probably.
So,
But Kentaro's lived a whole lifetime over here of
exactly.
He's got kids now. He's got
Yeah,
investments.
a whole family.
So
Yeah.
everyone else is in Access Monday while Kentaro's living outside Access Monday. Clearly, Monday, whatever.
Monday,
So-
yeah. I have a bunch of quotes that I just thought were absolutely terrible, but in
Don't
the
recite the
Thailand
episode.
scene, Isabella says, "Do you remember what we talked about the night we met in Tokyo? It was last night."
I'm about to say that was the other day.
Literally the night before. I don't even think it was the other day, because if we're following everyone's timelines, it was the night before. Because it was, because Cora says something when she goes to the apartment, because that scene needed to exist. But Cora says something about, I'm sorry for last night or whatever.
Yeah.
So we know it was last night, and he's currently
less than
packing to go to the
24 hours.
airport. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he is in Thailand within that 24-hour time period. And then she says, "Do you remember what we talked about the night we met in Tokyo, when he was absolutely shit-faced off of a single drink and less than 24 hours ago?"
Again, I think a lot of people, there's a breakdown in communication from scene to scene of the actual setup.
Because there's a
'Cause that's
lot
not
of
how
line
people talk.
delivery.
You remember what we talked about last night? I know you were drinking heavily.
Maybe say it 6
Drinking blue
months
drinks or
ago.
something.
Or
Yeah.
if it's 6 months
Remember
later.
that
You remember that-
conversation we had last in January? Remember we talked about this,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
like,
that
hey, last
night-
night, remember
yeah.
we talked?
You remember-
Remember the conversation we
I
had?
really just wanted him to be like, "You mean last night?"
We've had
That would've
so many
been- I
conversations.
would have respected the show
know,
had they done
exactly.
that. I would have been like, this show's fucking great. Because it's like, you mean last night?
Yeah.
Like, you crazy
Acknowledging
bitch.
it.
We've only chatted
All right.
once.
I've only met you once in my life, and it was last night. I think I remember.
Remember what we talked about? No.
She actually got a lot more drunk than he did. Doesn't remember anything.
She's like, great, you remember? Could you tell me what I told you? Because
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Just so I
means
know we're
she-
on the same. I want to know that that what you remember happening is the same thing that I remember happening.
So
But I want
when
you to
he-
say it.
when Kentaro shows up in Thailand, he's brought to her house and she's like practicing kickboxing, and it's her.
Yep.
We find out it's her fucking house,
Yep.
that her dad gave her. So that means when she didn't end up hooking up with Kentaro at the bar, she just went back to the fucking airport and just
And left.
hightailed it
True.
directly
true.
to fucking Thailand. So and so then Kentaro the next day wakes up after she's back and fuck it, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, come on down. Didn't even continue to try to pursue him or hang around and be like, maybe I can find him again. No, fuck it. I'm going to fuck it.
Yep. Bring your headphones that your father gave you.
Yeah.
Because I got a
Dad got me
house.
headphones.
Hell of a gift.
Heck of a gift. Oh,
Hey, I get an infinity pool. You want to go bone? All right.
Oh
He's going to
man.
put his sting in her.
Oh,
His finger. Yeah, I think that's it for the episode talk. I think I only had 2 other lines that I really cared about, because we've already
That
talked
being said,
about.
I can't wait to watch the rest of the season. I'm really enjoying
I know.
it.
Bob's enjoying these conversations more than the episodes.
Yeah, which I mean that's why we do it. It's very fun.
Yeah. It's cathartic.
I will see it. I will see it through because I love monsters and monster movies. I love monsters. So I'm
Yeah, I mean that's why you're watching a show that is almost completely devoid of monsters.
devoid of them. I'm in an abusive relationship with this program.
Yeah.
Thinking that it's going to deliver me this
toxic.
great monster moment at some point.
Season 1 wasn't the worst I've had. It's also not the best, but it's better than this.
Very middling. Let's see. Episode 6, one of my favorite lines was delivered by Cora, who said something about every installment of the Back to the Future trilogy. And it's like, you mean the 3? Every installment of the trilogy? Yeah, all 3 of them?
Yep.
Well, you got to make sure.
Every
You gotta make
installment
sure.
of Back to the Future.
It's tough. It's tough to keep track of, Corey. 3 is more than 1.
Yeah, it is. And then another Kentaro delivery, and this is another like weird one. He says, "No, I'm just a guy who watched his dad bleed out in the dirt." And I wrote Kentaro, who notably did not watch his dad bleed out in the dirt.
I'd say did
true.
not ran away to find help and
He
returned.
did, and it's
He dead
this
dad.
is-
So I guess
get-
what you're saying is that he doesn't remember the conversation they had last night because
doesn't-
his memory
nobody
sucks.
in Tokyo. Yeah, everyone's memory skills are pretty awful.
Including the writers of this program.
Exactly. There's just it's reached too much of a point to like ignore or let it slide. It just seems like they're forgetting stuff, and then there's so much drama. And again, the line delivery, Tim, kind of to the same point of both dramatic when it needs to be and people forgetting about what just happened. Tim being absolutely furious with May. In episode 7, and then in the next scene they're in the hazmat suits like fucking with the Titan skin.
Yep.
Totally chill. And like when
Well,
he's
she's on our
screaming
side
at her,
now.
I know exactly. She hasn't flip-flopped at all.
Nope. Also,
yeah.
how did all of Apex escape? Because Monarch was right there, and they were still like packing their shit up and trying to get out of there. And
Well, I mean, most of the escape from where? From the boat or from the island?
from the island, or maybe it's not an island, but when Monarch showed up after Titan X wrecked the Apex facility, like they were like right fucking there, and we didn't get anybody, like because you had to chase down May.
Well, everyone except the people who mattered died.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So everyone except Brenda or
Baba
whatever
Booshki.
her name was, May, and then the dude from New Zealand.
yeah, we saw a New Zealand guy took the
Took something and left.
He took his hard drive, which I bet it has the code on it, and took off because that code has to show up later in Godzilla versus Kong.
Is that
Right. With Isabel.
Okay. Yeah, with Isabel,
Maybe.
who's a prominent
With
character in Godzilla vs.
Isabel's
Kong.
grandpa.
So I like that. I still, because they haven't gone anywhere with that. I honestly, these past two, because 5 is the one where that happens. Really, if they had spent the last 2 episodes introducing an entirely different like group, some sort of espionage group that's not Monarch, that's not Apex, I probably would have been a lot happier. It's like, sure, just introduce me to a totally different group of people that I don't have to care about because they're all going to die by the end of the season. I would much rather have seen that. It's stressful. Any other particular points or any other topics that y'all want to bring up?
I think I've emptied my tank. These 2 episodes.
Zack, you got anything?
I've said pretty much everything I needed to say. That I'm this season 2 so far is paling in comparison to season 1, and I just hope for a okay ending. I just want a decent kaiju fight by the end that doesn't end with the monsters are going to hug, because that seems to be all right. We win with hugging. That's how you beat bad.
I really hope they are not able to help Titan X, because like at this point it's gonna mean that the final episode is a lot slower, because they're gonna have people trying to get it out. It's like, I just want an all-out bloodbath.
We got to get it away from Godzilla, because he's oh God, no, he's dead. He's dead.
Ripping its tentacles off.
Oh God, that thing had a family.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, that was pretty clean. Pretty short episode for covering 2 whole episodes. Again, really just nothing happened, I know, is the biggest complaint. Moving at breakneck speed, like
More happened in our conversation than happened in this episode.
Yeah, the much more thrilling episode. Who knows? Maybe 8's finally going to be the one. It's going to be the one that just flips it on its head. And
I've been telling myself
that's
for
called.
weeks.
I doubt that. It's called Separate Ways. So I foresee even more fracturing.
No, God, how could the crew
It's going to be the
fracture
battle of
even
5
further?
armies in the end.
Hey, if we get John Cleese CGI'd as a dwarf, I'm okay with that.
Just somehow, season 1, I always was curious about this. Season 1 of this show had this 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the audience meter was the popcorn meter was just as good at like 74%. Somehow season 2 is at a 79. I don't know where these numbers are coming from. Apple pays for play. I'm telling you. It's my conspiracy theory. They just pay people off to get these numbers. But anyway, thank you.
Season
That,
2
or
has
maybe
gone
if they
down.
consider a view alike, so they're like, as the more people watch the show, it's like, oh, it's moving up, it's got a 7.6. That means that 7.6 people watched it.
The critic consensus, against all odds, Monarch continues to pack a striking gut punch of action drama by embracing its legacy of monsters' talent and leading with a cast of rich and complex characters.
Okay, I buy that in like the first episode, maybe 2. Maybe. Beyond that, every episode has been slowing down instrumentally to where we are, where again the theme is nothing happened. So
Except for
feel
Kentaro
like
going around the globe in a day.
Well, he did do that. Hey, I mean, some people got needs, and sometimes you gotta get to Thailand for it. He did. Fuck it.
He's gotta fuck it.
Gotta fuck it.
You know, when life gets you down, fuck it.
Fuck it. In the Thailand.
Sorry, I took us on a non sequitur. I took us on the side. Sorry.
No, that's totally fine. I was gonna comment. Like, I feel like we almost saw acting from Wyatt Russell in episode 6. There was some point. It was when he was mad at his dad, I think. That was the most that we saw of acting. That he was. This is the one time I cannot let it slide. Episode 7, he was terrible.
My feelings on Wyatt Russell are well documented, so I will leave it there.
yeah, well documented, and it's like, this episode was painful because there's so much going on, and it's like, oh, buddy, you got to be a little more dramatic than that. Yeah, all right. Well, speaking of fuck it, Bob, where can people find you if they want to listen to more of you?
The Great Pop Culture Debate is the podcast that I am part of, along with Zack is a occasional panelist with us as well. He's part of our team, so a lot of great episodes and pop culture debates about finding out what is the best of pop culture. And our season 13 starts, I don't know when you'll drop this, Corey, but it technically started this week with our 200th episode, and next week it starts really officially with the debate of the best song of 2006, and that would be, what is it, next Tuesday is going to be April 14th, 2026.
All right, I gotta look up songs from 2006. Yeah, so
And they always want to know if they get it right or not. So Corey, if they don't get it right,
I'll be sure to submit it.
Please, by all means, let us know if we get it wrong. Respectfully, we don't care. We don't think that we get it right ever. we get it right by. It's a weird dynamic sometimes. 'Cause it's like nostalgia, but what is actually the best? But everybody has their preferences or their nostalgic picks. It just makes it really hard with a panel of 4 people. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
That was a
we have fun getting there.
Stacked year.
20 years ago.
That was Hips Don't Lie.
Yep, that's in the
Crazy
bracket.
by Gnarls Barkley.
Yep, that's in the bracket.
By Chamillionaire. Dude, this was when Timbaland was big too. I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So yeah, go check that out. Because this episode should be out probably Monday. So your season would have started, or is that what day of the week did you say?
Tuesday is that episode. So
Tuesday. Okay.
We had our 200th episode, which was like a retrospective this past Tuesday.
Cool.
So
for those listening on the release of this episode, go check out Great Pop Culture Debate tomorrow. Zach, where do you fuck it?
Wherever I can. All of the time.
Loaded question.
Pretty much every Monday with Neatcast, so that would have dropped early this morning, and we are in the throes of still working into T2 for Podcasters Assemble. At this point, the entries will be ending today, being Monday, when this drops. So get your T2 Judgment Day entries in. Please keep it to, I think, 10, maybe 15 minutes at most on your thoughts on the movie. Head on over to probablywork.com for that, or search for Podcasters Assemble. And that's pretty much what I've been doing. Oh, actually, I did a episode with Brian over at My Weekly Mixtape, where there was a challenge of, does Metallica have good songs post Black Album? Which we put together a 10-song playlist that I think proves that they do. But I'm sure there are
Metallica?
People. It's everything from Black Album through Short Hair into present. So excluding like covers, or live versions
Original
of
music.
songs from a previous album. So there are some live songs that were only ever performed
original
live. Yes.
Yeah.
So we did that. That dropped last week. So go give that a listen. Which
apparently
some people we introduced them to music that they didn't even know existed by Metallica.
Cool.
That's cool.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah. Well, speaking of music, it's my podcast. I can do whatever I want. My favorite band, it's a Japanese metal band called Duran Gray, released a new album called Mortal Downer. It is very good, as are all of their albums for the last 20. Hold on, it's 20. Oh my God, they've been performing since like 97.
You're old, Corey.
Yeah, 29 years. But yeah, all right. And obviously you can find me here. You can find me, I think it's like a week or two ago when this comes out. I was on Cinema Villains arguing why the Heisei Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah is ass. We did a like judge and defendant and prosecutor thing. I was the prosecutor for why it sucks, and Jose was the defender for why it's good. So it was an entertaining. Shaggy came up with that the day before we recorded, so no time to prep. But it was still very fun. Neatcasts, I've been on 3 episodes in the last, at the release of this, like month and a half. Check them out or don't, you know. I think if you've listened to all of these Monarch episodes so far, you won't lose any respect for me by that point.
No, you'll be more bored, but you know.
They might be. But yeah, and if you have any opinions or, you know, want to say that we're wrong, I should have something in the like description for how you can send a text to the podcast. You can always email me at twinbeepodcast@gmail.com. You can find me on every social media site, Twinbee Podcast. Yeah, you know, to put your thoughts, send me hate mail. I don't care. I got nothing better to do. But yeah, for now, we are out. We'll be doing this again. Who knows when? But we're getting close to the finale. Excitement. Bob?
No, I
look
just
like
like, can't wait
Yeah.
to be done.
Ah, there it is.
All right, we out.